It's food o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer and the kettle is boiling. That means it's time for another noodle review. So, we've got some Indo Mie noodles and I'm not going to mess about. I'm not going to beat about the bush. I'm slightly scared about this. There's shrimp flavour. And, I mean, for me, in my mind, the worst thing can happen here is I open these up, put them in the pan, and there's a load of shrimps floating around in the noodles. And that, in my mind, that's what's going to happen. In my mind, that is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be shrimps, dried shrimps, floating around in my noodles. But it's just going to be a powder, isn't it? It's just going to be a little bit of powder. Nothing really to be scared of. I picked them up. They were £1 in Asda. Not a bad price. Asda have become, especially if you have an Asda with a world food aisle, Asda has become this type of, well, if you haven't got much money and you love noodles, get yourself to a big Asda. And they kind of thrive on this kind of stuff. This stuff is down the world food aisle by the bucket load. I've had, this year alone, 2023-24, I've had Polish beetroot noodles and the most bizarre flavoured noodles in the world in Asda. And I like that because as much as I like walking around boring old Tesco, and I call it boring old Tesco because I'm not a fan. I'm not a Tesco fan. I find Tesco very, what's the word? Not much changes. People who don't like too much change shop in Tesco. I'm a kind of little Aldi, Asda. I like to see all the different things that's going on every single month of the year. There's so much going on in these different supermarkets. Anyway, here's the noodles. I'm going to place them on my pack of Paul and a Vice beer box. And we got two. Oh my goodness me. Right, we got one chili and one bamboo sauce. Bamboo sauce. It looks like and it feels like there's no large shrimps in this pack. So I'm going to go away. These will probably boil up in 250 millilitres of water. Right, it actually says on the pack here. Right, 350 millilitres of boiling water. Add seasoning, ready to serve. I'm going to go with 250 millilitres because I want extra flavour from my noodles. Let's go and cook them. Right, these shrimp flavour noodles are ready. Let's get them in the bowl. There we go. So probably a lot less water than you would normally get from this style of noodle, although they do look a bit soupy, don't they? Maybe I was a little bit, I don't know, maybe I should have put my glasses on when I had the measuring jug out. Lots of steam. Lots of chilli came out of the pack and that kind of gumbo flavour, but there was a lot of that too. So let's have a look at these noodles then. They're £1. I quite like the Indo Mie brand. You can get some pretty decent kind of, the Indonesian noodles, they're pretty good. They will be a more naturally, I've gone to Asda and I bought Turkish noodles. As I mentioned before, I bought Polish noodles. These Indo Mie Indonesia noodles, these are a little bit more kind of, what's the word? Fitting to the kind of Asian style noodle. They know what they're doing a little bit more. Although, I'm waiting for that chilli to kick in. There was definitely a pack of chilli in there that I added, and well, so far, if I'm completely honest, they're just slightly fishy. Yeah. Slightly fishy. You know when you buy a boring pack of... We've all done it. We've all done it when we haven't got much money in the account. You go and buy a boring pack of chicken noodles and you're like, oh, these are going to be great. And they turn out to be... I think this is Asia's version. Because although Europe, UK, we eat a lot of chicken, I suppose if you're from Asia, then the common shrimp is going to be the common chicken, isn't it? And that kind of reflects in these noodles. I was really looking forward to these. I was really expecting something, especially for £1, to be slightly different, a little bit better. Well, it's your kind of filling a gap. Not much in the way of nutrition. I've done my research recently. I've done my research into these instant noodles because I've been having a few like weird stomach, like almost odd, for me, digestion problems. Normally I'm very good at digesting food, but I've noticed a pattern. Recently I have reviewed a lot of instant noodles, and I don't think your body copes with it very well. I think your body's a little bit like, oh my god, here we go again type of thing. We have to kind of produce this or try and grab some energy out of this cardboard. So I think the year for me, the year 2023 was about reviewing lots of instant noodles, but going forward into 2024, into next year, I think the focus will be a lot less on these. There's no flavour. I'm expecting some shrimp. I'm expecting something. These could be chicken flavoured noodles. There's a little bit of a fishy taste going on, but not enough for me to go, oh, it's not the average Joe kind of chicken flavour noodle. These are a bit boring, if I'm honest. They're a bit boring. Ironically, I'm reviewing these on a Monday morning, which is probably equally as boring, isn't it? The stock The stock doesn't suggest any shrimp whatsoever. It's just a peppery, spicy, chili-like stock that hasn't kind of flavoured the noodles at all. The stock is probably the best part of the noodle. So I'm going to rate them. I've had better noodles from this company in the past. The fact that they've got the shrimp flavour and there's no shrimp taste kind of suggests to me that these are for the Asian market and they're the Asian version of the European chicken boring noodle. No, they're a bit rubbish. They're a bit rubbish. They're a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.